This is the Real Love Talk podcast, where we show you how God's love and self-love can help you get to your desired destination. If a God-designed marriage is your goal, then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Shenique Luke.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Real Love Talk podcast. I am your host, Shenique Luke, and welcome. How are you doing today? How's your life going? How's your new year? I mean, is it giving what you thought it was going to give? Are you ready for a new year, and are you ready to see 2023 go bye-bye? I don't know about you. I'm usually not the person to say a year sucks, but good riddance to 2023 and welcome 2024. So we're back once again for another episode or segment of Wifey Wisdom, and we have an amazing guest. We're going to dive into her journey into marriage. So she's going to tell all the tea, all the juice, everything that you want to know that you think you may be going through on your own, or all the thing that I love about the stories is that they're different, they're unique to each individual. There's so many similarities. Yes. So let's dive into her. So my special guest today is Miss Tiajah, really good friend of mine, but I will let her introduce herself.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Tiajah. I am a current micro influencer or aspiring influencer who shares fashion tips, lifestyle, design, all the gems for the everyday girls. I do that. I share that. So,
all right. So, as much as we love all of those things, we're going to get into her business today. All right. So, how long have you been married?
I've been married 2 years as of October of last year. So, It's been 2 years.
So, how's married life?
Married life. It's ghetto but blissful. I think that's like the perfect little phrase for it.
All right. So let's get into the beginning. Let's take it back. How long did you guys date before you got married?
We dated for a while. So we met each other in 2016. We worked at Michael Kors together. So we are college sweethearts. Met each other in 2015 we met each other. We started dating 2016. So from 2016 to 2021.
Okay.
But we got engaged in Lord, you got me thinking for real. We got engaged 2019.
Okay, because I was going to say Gabby was a baby. Yes. I had the pleasure of being there. It was an amazing proposal.
Yes. Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, I was like, yes. Okay, so one of the reasons that I wanted to invite you on is because some people may say you are too young for marriage.
Yes.
All right. Now, it was interesting because the first time we met, I'm giving like all this advice, and she's like pretty much in this old man, old lady relationship, right? But that was like probably what you're used to. Mm-hmm. You come into contact with an older person or more seasoned individual, and the assumption is, oh, you don't know, or
I don't know nothing. Well, everybody thinks I'm like 5 years younger than what I am.
I mean, it's the black is not cracking.
The black don't crack. And I'm not mad at that. But yeah, people give me advice, or they think like I'm just this fresh, like college graduate who doesn't know anything about the world. And it's like, no, baby, I'm grown. Like, and I've been married for a little pinch now, but
y'all have been together.
We've been together for a while. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you speak to just that thing, the assumption that you're too young for marriage, or someone may be too young for marriage because they're just graduating from college?
Looking back, and C and I say this all the time. So when we first started dating, I was 2016. We moved in together in 2017, and both of us is like, when we have kids, or we could go back, that would be something we wouldn't have done. So I would say like the one piece of advice from like seasoned people or older people is to take your time. Yeah. I feel like love will grow despite you don't have to move in and play house and try to make things work so quickly as we did. I mean, thankfully it worked out for us, but for a lot of people it don't work out. So I would just say, take your time. So
So so that's one of the things, because I think that was the actual conversation we were having about moving in. I'm like, don't do it.
Yep.
Mario and I moved in with one another before we got married. So what?
So I will say you should move in before you get married.
You think so?
I really feel like you don't know nobody until you live with them.
See, I feel like it put pressure on the relationship because once you move in, and we bought, well, no, I was about to tell a lie. We were in an apartment and then we bought a house. But the house came before we got married, and it put a lot of pressure. I feel like it took away the opportunity for our relationship to naturally develop, because now that you're, like you say, you're living with one another, it's automatically the assumption of what's next.
Yeah,
where's this going?
Where is this going? Yeah.
So how you feel about that?
I agree. I agree
to an extent.
To an extent. Because so OC and I, he had just graduated. I was still in school. And we moved into an apartment together. And then when he graduated, he got a job in Noonan. Remember, I was living in Noonan. Yes. So that was a whole shift in itself, just being so far away from friends and family and stuff. But as far as moving in together, I will say it does put pressure on what's next. But we moved in, and then we were living together for 2 years, and I remember verbatim telling him, like, look, you want to talk about buying a house next? I'm not doing anything with you legally on paper until I get a ring. And I didn't realize he took that like so literal. So yeah, we got engaged, and then like 3 months later we got a house. So yeah, he was not playing with that. So I do feel like it puts pressure, but also too, I guess on the flip side, if you know that's not what you're looking for in that moment, then I wouldn't do it. Okay. But looking back, I wish I would have known that, because.
So I think the difference is he was intentional.
Very.
I always say I believe there's a percentage of men, 15. I'm gonna say 15. This is not quoted. This is not. This is my theory, and just because of the women that I talk to, I believe about 15 to 20% of men like want to be married. They are very intentional about marriage. They've seen their parents, they've seen family members, and they know they want marriage. And then the other 80% are like, I'm not doing it
for the streets.
I'm not doing this unless, you know, I'm put in a position where I have to choose, which I think is just human nature, right? Like no judgment there. But I just feel like from the beginning, even before I knew OC, I knew that he was intentional. And I feel like that's the important part when it comes to making that type of decision, because you can't move in with someone who's for the streets.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back in. So you're graduating, moving, or I'll say this, you're moving through college, you're about to graduate, you know you want to get serious with him. Actually, no, let me take it back. You're at Michael Kors. How did you know, like, you wanted to go in that direction with him?
Truth be told, so when I met OC, I didn't look his way. I just thought, so you know, Michael Kors, everybody knows Michael Kors, but so it was 3 straight guys, and then the rest were all gay.
Okay.
So the 3 straight ones, and then you know, just to be quite frank, it was like black. It was the brown people and then the white people.
Okay.
So all the brown people, I mean, we were just cool. So when I met OC, he was just cool. I didn't even know we didn't know we went to the same school at that point. Yeah. We literally met at Michael Kors. It wasn't until we had to start like working late or like the holidays that we really started to like get to know each other. I know. Oh my God, it sounds like a Hallmark.
In the inventory room.
Yes, in the
something.
inventory room.
Oh no.
We were like share lunch, but no.
You like bumped heads as a box fell down.
Oh, thanks for saving me. No, it wasn't like that at all. Well, it was a little bit like that. But no, I really liked him as a friend. Like he was just genuine and funny, and it just wasn't forced. A lot of male friends I've had in the past, I've always felt like, you trying to be my friend for other things, not just to be my friend. And when we first started off, we were truly just friends. Okay. Like I said, we didn't even look each other's way. And then, I don't know, something happened. I don't know what happened.
He probably.
No,
We're gonna have to
because
know.
he said when we first met each other. I mean, I was 18 when I first met him. I look like a child. Looking back,
Girl.
I look like a
Okay.
child now.
I'm not I was about to say something that was totally inappropriate. No, I'm just saying, like 18, you're probably still attractive.
I mean, yes, not saying I'm not attractive,
Okay, he
but he
still
was
thought you.
like, it was just at one point, like you actually looked like, oh,
Well, he probably was looking. How old was he?
21.
Okay, he probably was looking like a child too.
Yeah, he was. We were both children.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a point, and I think both of us, like, the relationship just naturally went another step.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's ultimately what happened. We were truly friends at first, though.
Okay, so then so after the inventory room, how did you become his official girlfriend?
See, that's when it gets a little ghetto.
Uh-oh.
We were in college. He had just crossed, so the whole neo, all that stuff was going on. So it was very ghetto in those streets when he first crossed. But I would say a few months into, or like halfway through the school year of fall of 16, that's when the both of us really became like truly serious, because I went to study abroad for like 2.5 months, and we were on the phone constantly trying to figure out like our time zones and all that. And when I got back, that's when it became like super serious.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, oh, you really, like, I was gone for 2 months. Yeah, and you were still like talking to me and checking up on me and all this stuff. So even when I come back, it's still the same energy. So that's when it was like, okay, I guess we are for real now.
So if you can coordinate time zones, he can call you. He can make time.
Okay, yeah. Don't let no man tell you he don't have time. Everybody has time for stuff that they want, for things that they want in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Okay. So I want to get into your relationship with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So now you guys are getting serious, living together, all these things. Like, how was your relationship with Christ and really beginning to make those decisions? And I was a hot mess at that age. So I'm just trying to get into your mind on your level of maturity and how you were even able to make the decision at such a young age.
I don't even know. Honestly, nothing but God. Honestly. So for me and Christ at that point in time, it wasn't a very strong connection. Like, I knew Christ was there. I wasn't going to church like that. I had dropped out of gospel choir at that point.
Not dropped out of
I know. I was in gospel choir in college. I dropped out at a point. But for me to make the transition to become a wife, I feel like that transition out of college, working, now truly living with this person. And when we got engaged, that's when I realized, like, okay, we both realized Christ needs to be in the center of this relationship before we ever decide to become together as one. So yeah, I feel like that is what helped me make that type of decision. A big decision on getting married. I think some people, especially in my generation, feel like marriage is just like, oh, it's the thing to do. And it's like, yes. I feel like people get married left and right.
Really?
And they don't need to be
married. So you feel like, because how old are you right now?
I'm 27.
Okay, so you feel like your peers are getting married, because my concern or my thought as an older woman is that you see it on Instagram, especially with my peers, but I was just wondering, like, your age group, you feel like people are getting married? Are they staying married, or
So
do
I
you
have
feel like
one friend who we got married. Honestly, like, our whole relationship was kind of similar. Like, we got engaged young. We've been in relationships for most of our 20s, well, all of our 20s. She just recently got a divorce.
Okay.
So that was the first divorce I've ever went through, like, with a friend, and knowing like we were mirroring each other. But outside of her, I mean, out of our friend group, a lot of our friends are married.
Well, I mean, that's promising.
Yeah.
Because and I don't know, because I don't have a lot of younger friends, but I've assumed that there were less people getting married, because I felt like the younger women that I was having or I have had conversations with, they're struggling more with that situationship because the norm is I don't have to have a commitment.
I don't want to be tied down.
Yeah, or like it's just a piece of paper.
But I feel like that's for sure though, because also too, I feel like it's your circle. Like, I don't know, maybe just naturally we just have married friends because we are married, or they got married along the way because a lot of our friends have long-term relationships.
Okay.
And when I say our friends, I'm really talking a lot about OC's friends. He is older than me, so they're like in their like early 30s.
Gotcha.
My friends who are all in my age group, like late 20s, now I'm the only one that's married.
Okay.
So in the late 20 age, they're not really, but they're looking. I just feel like people are actively looking for a marriage or a serious relationship. Like, I know several people who are like hopping in and out of relationships, and it's just like, girl.
Do you feel like there is more of a struggle for your girlfriends to find commitment? Because it's like you're saying on one hand that his friends, which mostly men, okay, are getting married, but then most of your girlfriends are single. So the guys are getting married.
Guys are getting married. Yeah, they are.
That's I love to hear that, because for my generation, it was like at first being single was the thing, and then it became a shift where I believe that the whole concept of the Black family just got
the unit.
Yeah, we want it, and everybody wants it.
Yeah.
So now I look around and I'm like, like I have some girlfriends who are single, and they're kind of, I wouldn't say struggling, but moving through that, desiring it. It may not have happened yet, but but then I feel like no, that's so funny because I feel like Mario's friends are me.
That's weird. It's really weird now that we're dissecting it.
Okay. But that's cool because in the past, the guys are usually like the player. Yeah, the player.
Play for the streets.
Okay.
Now the girls are for the streets.
Yeah. Women are like, you know what? I'm going to play this game. But I think it's just from the heartbreak. The disappointment.
It's this continuous cycle of like disappointment and I put my all into this person,
so now
and they're not giving it back. Yeah, now I'm just gonna be for the streets. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of sad.
No, so that's why we're having these conversations, because I believe that even if you may be in the streets now, sis, right? Let's come in closer.
Yes.
We are going to get you out of the streets, okay? Yes. But even if you are in that space where you may be rejecting it, or you may feel like it's not for you, if the desire is there, like that's okay. Like that's natural. You're not desperate.
No.
It is okay. Because ultimately I think we all desire it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be alone.
I think okay.
You think that's a choice?
Okay, hear me out. Because this is what I hear. So I have conversations with women who desire marriage. It's not happening. And they're like, God has called me to be single. Okay, so I believe that for the most part, that's not true, right?
That ain't true.
I think there are people who have been called to be single in the sense of that's what God's purpose is for them. But I don't believe that those people desire.
Yeah.
I don't think that God puts that desire into people's hearts and then call them to be single. You said that's the thing.
And I feel like singleness is a season. Like God may want you to be single in this season currently, but ultimately He knows the desires of your heart. He knows that you want to find somebody and be in love and create a family. So yeah, you may feel like, okay, God, ain't nobody coming right now, so you just want me to be single. I'm just gonna be single. But you just never know. Maybe He's creating this path for you to meet the person that you're supposed to meet in this season of singleness.
Yeah. I agree. Because the idea is singleness is a curse. And you said you hit the nail on the head. It's a season.
It's a season.
Just like everything else is, like you go to college. I'm not going to say how many years, but you eventually come out, right? It's something that is temporary. Most things are temporary. But if the mental says that I'm going to be single forever, then you will be single forever. So I think it is great to have the mentality that it is for a season. Okay, I have a question. What surprised you most about marriage?
People change.
Mm.
Especially for me, it's funny we're talking about this. Because I am like the only one married in my personal friend group.
Well, you
but
have a newly engaged
well, yes, I do have a newly engaged friend, and she just asked me that too. But I think people change. So for me, like meeting OC at 19 when we first started dating, and now I'm 27 and he's 30. It's like we're not the same. I'm not the same 19-year-old. I'm not the same 25-year-old I was. Like, I mean, people change, and just learning to relearn somebody or to grow together despite these changes is like the biggest shock to me. I don't know, because I think sometimes, like, when I thought about marriage, it was kind of like a fairy tale.
Absolutely.
Like, everything's just going to be perfect and blissful, and the person that I fell in love with is just going to stay the same. And it's like, no, not at all. I didn't stay the same. So how can I expect this person to stay the same? And you want to grow, you want different things in life. So how can you expect that to occur if you guys are both at the same state you were when you first started dating or got engaged? So I think that's the biggest.
And I think it's probably the most shocking part, or I don't know if it would be considered a challenge, is that you don't expect it, even when you're changing. Because you're like looking at like, what is happening?
Right.
This is hard, or this is like, so even being able to be in a space where your partner allows you to change and there's no judgment or resentment, I think that's important. But you said something in the beginning, we're friends first. So I always encourage people to put each other in the friend zone. We think that's like the worst thing that can happen. I remember when I was going through the ghetto with Mario, because baby, it was very ghetto in the beginning. Okay. I remember like God telling me, be his friend. And I was like, no, I don't want to be his friend. But that was the best thing, because the woes and the ups and downs and the
ghetto.
the ghetto-ness of marriage is that he's always my friend.
Yes.
I told someone yesterday, I said, we were talking about contracts and marriage, and how back in the day it was like a contract, you know. I'm sure some of it having to do with slavery and that sort of thing. And she asked me, do you think we should start to do things that way? And I said, what the contract I think allowed us to do was when it brings a level of accountability. You know, seriousness. And that's why it is still a piece of paper involved. Because we love each other, spiritual for sure. We can make this agreement. But when it becomes legal, there's a level of accountability. And some people it becomes more serious when their belongings and assets are involved. And so my point in saying that is that I think there has to be like a shift in how we look at those things, because it brings a level of seriousness to it.
Yeah.
So
serious for sure.
And so that's why I believe that prenups are involved, because yes, I want to be in love, but I have these belongings and I want to protect something.
How do you feel about prenups?
I don't believe in them, because I feel like it's preparing for divorce.
I see that side. I do.
I mean, but I'm also not a millionaire yet.
Listen.
So I know that people who have large amounts of assets and money, they may feel like they have to protect it because maybe that person isn't, their intentions aren't. I don't know. Like,
I love you, but I don't fully know your intentions. So let me just slide.
I don't know, because then I also feel like people with a lot of money, like love is like extracurricular activity. Like, don't you like celebrities? They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I love. They just
Love them and leave them.
Well, they come in and out of marriage like it's something to do.
Love them and leave them. And keep their coins.
I just wonder, like, for someone who's at a higher level of fame or celebrity, is marriage not like more about love because maybe they never know people's true intentions? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or is it more of a disposable thing?
Right.
Like, okay, $100,000 wedding may not be a big deal to them, but for like, but for someone like you or you and I, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to spend the amount of money that we spent for a wedding more than once. Like we were talking before, if this doesn't work, I don't want to do this again. Yeah. Right?
I'm eloping.
But if I have excessive amount, if I have money,
it's just money's not an obligation. So
it doesn't matter. So having a wedding may not be that big of a deal. Okay. So I like that about having a safe space to grow and that people change, because I believe that's where most marriages fail, because you think that that person is going to remain the same forever, and that's not true. So kudos to you guys for creating a space to grow. And it is important because you guys are younger.
We're young.
Yeah.
We got married young. I got married at 24.
But see, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, but I feel like your maturity is what's more important than your age. Yeah. I mean, some people get married at 19, 18, and they're still married.
Yeah. I mean, I think the level of maturity for sure is an issue, or could be a concern, because baby. Hi ladies, Shenique Luke here, your love preparation coach. So you asked, and now I'm answering. The Love Prep Academy is opening its doors for enrollment for our signature program. Are you ready for your happily ever after? Are you ready to have the life that you've been praying for? Are you sick and tired of wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Well, this program is for you. I'm here to send a call of action to my ladies who are tired of doing it their way and are truly ready to give it to God. So I'm challenging 25 women to become a part of our founding members program. This program consists of weekly coaching from yours truly, a dating assessment, a private Facebook community, and weekly challenges and homework to help you shift how you see dating and marriage to finally get the results you want. Now, the best thing about being a founding member, not only do you get to be a part of a life-changing program, but you get all access to all things Love Prep Academy from now until forever. That's right, we're locked in for life. So click the link below to find out more. I will see you on the other side. If I would have gotten married at 24, it is about maturity, because I was a hot mess, right? But understanding I wasn't in the position that you were in at that age, and my desire for marriage was there, but I wasn't as self-aware as I am now. And that does come with growth and maturity. And unfortunately, everyone can't say that, because thank God didn't let it happen. Because I thought I was supposed to like have this perfect life at like 25. Like I remember being 30 and it wasn't happening. I'm like, right.
Can I be honest though? Out of my friend group, I thought something was wrong with me, because going into school, I never.
You thought something was wrong with you because what?
Because I didn't desire marriage. I came from a split household. Okay. I came from parents who were together over 20 years, never got married, and then they ended up. I mean, like my parents split when I was younger. They got back together. They had my brother, and then they stayed together.
Okay.
So I've just seen the dynamics of like two people who were in love but shouldn't have stayed together.
Okay.
So growing up, I didn't desire marriage. I didn't desire to be.
It's always the girls that don't want it.
I know that get it. I'm sorry, y'all.
Get it early at that too.
Yeah. I didn't desire marriage going into college, so that's what I'm saying. Like looking at OC, I was like, okay, he cool, but I didn't see it going like the way it went. Yeah. I didn't see that because I didn't truly desire it at that age. Like I have a best friend. We've been best friends since like we were 12 years old. When I tell you that girl had her whole life planned out, why am I living her life? I'm so serious. Like by age, she's like, by this age, I'm gonna be married. We're gonna have a child. We're gonna be like, and now our trajectory has completely shifted, and it's just crazy. But yeah, I didn't desire to be married at my age. I didn't see that for myself.
Okay, so what happened?
Oh, see.
So the relationship, do you think that you changed, or was it just like you saw him, you saw what you guys were building, and then you began to desire it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love when your mate can bring certain things out of you, because I felt like before Mario and I really got serious, I was very selfish before, and our relationship really turned and allowed me to, or I should say shifted me to be a better person. Like I wanted to be a better woman. And I just never like I really thought I was perfect.
And we're not
before. And it's funny now because you couldn't tell me, like I just thought nothing was wrong with me. And there is the guy. And,
you're the problem.
Yeah. And it was me.
It's me.
It was me. I was the problem. I had so many issues. Self-esteem, like all those things. So like looking back, I'm glad that God didn't allow marriage to happen, because now that I'm in it, it's like, man, I would have messed up. I would say I would have messed up everybody involved, especially if there were children.
Yeah.
And so the reason that we have these conversations is so that you can like, you're like, am I the problem? Are there some things that I need to change? Because yes, you desire marriage, but if you don't deal with those internal things, it becomes so problematic once someone else is involved. And it could be a reason why the relationships aren't going to the next level, like your plans or your intentions are. So always, we've talked about it before, really looking at yourself in the mirror and having those honest conversations. That
therapy helps.
Yes.
I am an activist with therapy.
Listen, I have I talked about it on a previous episode where I took the time to really like, it's interesting because you have, and I use issues lightly, right? Like you have things that you deal with in your life as a single person, and then, but what they don't tell you is that you have it's a whole nother ball game of things that you encounter as a married woman and then as a mom. And I feel like it's harder as a mom because you want this little person, but then it's like things that you have to deal with and balance and you got to have boundaries with your children, with your spouse. See, I think the messed up part about society and relationships and all these things is we assume boundaries are always a bad thing. And it comes when a person does something bad to you. But boundaries are important just for health in general.
To protect your mental, you need boundaries.
Listen,
in all aspects of life.
Your husband, the person you love, the person you prayed for, your child, like all those important people, your parents. I wasn't doing that. So therapy allowed me to really take a look at myself and take care of myself because I thought I was being selfish in a bad way by putting me first. But if you don't put yourself first, and I'm talking to you, if you're in a situationship and you're more focused on him or afraid to walk away because you think that that's going to make him feel less than, no, you need to, girl, you got to fill up the cup.
You got to put me first. I gotta put myself.
Listen, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
You cannot.
And what I've learned in the last few months is mama, wife, self, Shenique has to be okay before I can do anything else in the household, in the job. And I was like on E because I'm like, well, if I tell her no, I'm going to be a bad mom.
Yeah.
If I tell him no, I'm going to be a bad wife. And so always look at the level.
But by telling them no, you're telling yourself no. Or you're telling yourself you're not as important as the people that you're telling yes to.
Yep.
By telling yes to other people, you're telling yourself no.
Yeah.
I'm learning that in therapy because
Yeah.
I'm like a serial people pleaser.
Ooh.
Like, you need me to do something, I'll try to do it. I will overextend myself on multiple accounts.
But
to
it goes,
everybody.
but it goes back to the thing. Everybody wants to be loved.
Everybody
we
wants
want
to be loved and liked, but you're not gonna always be liked or loved. But if they really love you, they gonna still love you. But they may not like or love you at that moment. But at the end of the day, you're protecting yourself because, like you said, you can't pour from an empty cup. I can't pour into a marriage if I have nothing to give at this very moment because I've drained everything trying to give to everybody else. So, yeah, you can't. In a relationship or in your single season, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Point blank, period.
And it just goes back into that safe space because as you're doing that, your husband is watching, he's observing, and he may be going through the same thing. And if you don't create a space where one another, well, we can do that.
Right.
I feel like that's why there are so many divorces because we're expecting that 19-year-old, that 20-year-old, and it's like they don't exist.
Just active and lively and like life is lifing hard.
Yeah.
I'm not the same. No,
but it's okay,
it's
right?
okay.
Oh, this is good. It's just it all connects. It all flows into one another, and ultimately the success of your marriage depends on what just you taking the time to look at yourself. So the challenge is if you're single, if you're struggling, take this opportunity in this season, this single season, to really I said, become your best teammate before you get one.
I like that.
Yeah. So become the best partner that you could be to yourself before someone else comes into the picture, because then it it's like you're creating the toolbox.
Right.
Before you actually need to. So it's like, oh, okay, wait, hold on. I got the answer to this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know what I need.
This happened to me. Let me pull this out. But also, you said being friends with one another, taking the time to grow in it, because what we don't want to happen is for us to become so desperate for love that when
accept anything,
anyone shows up and now y'all not friends, you're like, I gotta hurry up and get married. You're not seeing the jerk that
children.
Yeah.
It
just puts so many things. And here's the thing, there's never been God's intention. There is no biological clock. There is no time. Where's the clock? Where's the clock? I'm still looking for the clock.
I don't want to find it.
Where is this timeline that we have created in our mind, and we've put so much pressure on ourselves to meet, like you said,
deadlines.
What that timeline that your girlfriend had, or even what did you think you were going to be doing right now?
18-year-old T. Actually, I went into college at 17. 17-year-old T thought by the age of 30, I would be a successful doctor. I was so career driven. It was insane. And then I met this man, and it's just like a complete 180. But I did not think I was going to have no children, no marriage. I would be in a serious relationship, but not marriage yet. Because I'm in school to be a doctor, so I don't have time for that type of stuff. Very selfish, very no, it's all about me. And girl, look at me. Not a house, a dog. I am a dog mom. I did not think I would be a dog owner. Cooking,
decorating,
cleaning, decorating, being married. I never in a million years.
And so what did they say? Tell God your plans and he will laugh at you.
Laugh.
So
He was rolling on the floor with my plan.
Oh, I'm pretty sure God was like, girl,
bye.
I always talk about 25. I wanted to be a doctor, which is crazy because I suck at math and science. But anyway.
You have a good heart. That matters.
Now you have a good heart. Okay. Well, you pretty. Okay. Just like 25, I was supposed to be married. Yeah, we had a conversation before, and I was like, I wanted a white picket fence. She was like, I did not want a white picket fence.
No.
I wanted the what is it? 2.5 kids, the 2 kids and the dog and the house. And by 25, when I was 30 and I was single, I was working a contracting job, and it was like, so it wasn't like stable.
Mm-hmm.
I had a roommate. I was living in an apartment, and I was like, this is not the
My life is ruined.
This is not the life that I planned. But it was like, God's timing is perfect.
It is.
Looking back in retrospect, I was not ready for marriage. I didn't know that at the time because I lacked self-awareness. Like, the beautiful thing about you and OC, even though somebody might say you're too young, I feel like you guys have always been intentional. And I feel like I was able to identify that like very early on, and the level of maturity was different.
Mm-hmm.
So even as someone who's older and like, oh yeah, they're too young. It's
They're
like everyone has, everyone
my family
is different.
Was through the roof. Through the
I don't even know what the big deal is, because people, okay, maybe not your parents, because
no, my parents are.
No, but I'm saying like our grandparents probably. They got married young, so I'm a little confused at why getting married young now is like looked down on.
My grandmother was so upset when she found out I moved in with this man. I mean, it was just like a whole from New York. Girl, what you gonna do from New York?
Give you a whooping.
A virtual one? Girl, bye. Love you, Grandma. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it was just a huge uproar.
Now, is your grandmother married?
No, but my grandfather, my grandma got married young. So, and she told me eventually, she was like, I feel like I was projecting my fears onto you. Because my grandmother got married young, and then she had my dad, my uncle, my aunt. And then they ended up splitting.
But how old was she? That's what I'm saying.
She was like 19.
Yeah, exactly.
20.
Exactly. So it's interesting.
I already surpassed you.
It's like, now we're supposed to be so much older. Yeah. So it's interesting. I know things have changed, and I'm sure they look at us and are like, these kids.
These children.
These kids are just
they just don't know.
But I mean, I admire that. I think I was just a hot mess.
Yeah.
She's agreeing.
She was a hot mess.
So it's just interesting, like you say, projecting your fears because, things didn't happen the way she planned, and not wanting the same thing to happen for you. So I know our intentions of our loved ones,
they're good.
They're good. But it doesn't always come off that way. So anyway, okay. So we're gonna wrap up soon, but I have one more question.
Okay.
If there's a young lady, all her friends are getting married, and she may be younger. So, you said it's happening a lot. You're seeing it in the lives of your peers, but it's not happening for her. And she's feeling like, when is it? When? Why? What's wrong with me? Is there any piece of advice that you would give her if she's listening?
Piece of advice. I would say date yourself first. I don't think there's anything wrong with you per se, but I think you should look in the mirror and truly love who's in the reflection first.
That's good.
Because honestly, when I was dating and when we first got engaged, I wasn't fully like, I mean, I was so young. I wasn't fully like self-aware of like all the things I like, all the things I love, I dislike. We talked about boundaries and all that stuff. So I feel like if you look in the mirror and you're able to identify all of those things, then that person will come and fill in. You know, everybody has these boxes that we want checked, but that person will come. I think, yeah, self-love. If you don't love yourself, if you don't love what you're looking at, then it's not going to come. Also, comparison is a thief of joy. So you comparing, you have no clue what your friends are going through or have gone through to get to where they are now. So, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned in the beginning that you're starting this new journey of influencing and you help women with styling and all the things. So you said, but combining it with self-love. So one tip, or maybe two, depending on how you feeling today. What are some things that they can do to begin to love what they see in the mirror?
Love what you see in the mirror. I guess for me personally, to build confidence, I would get dressed. And I think that's what kind of started this whole influencer content design. It's just getting dressed, building that confidence for yourself. So going back to finding what you love, finding what sparks that joy, I think would be the first tip. Because I discovered I enjoy painting. I did not know I knew how to paint. I enjoy painting. So yeah, finding what you love or what sparks that joy. And then another tip.
Follow her on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram. Yes.
Because what if I'm getting dressed. I don't really know anything about styling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So as far as styling, I would say you have to love the skin you're in. Because honestly, you don't wear what am I trying to say? The clothes can't wear you. You have to wear the clothes. But that starts within. So I feel like if you don't have the confidence in the clothes that you're putting on, you can see it from a mile away. So self-love. And then as far as styling, know your body type too. And that can be a little difficult, especially with what we see on Instagram today, because everybody's a size 2 who just have like these.
It's not giving size 2.
It's not giving
multiply
size
that.
8. It's giving bigger than that.
They love it. Okay,
they love it. But yeah, I just feel like as far as style, learning your body type, learning what you feel comfortable in, because what I feel comfortable in, the next person may not feel comfortable in. However, I'm just giving tips and gems and tools for you to build that confidence on a budget too, because like you said, we are not millionaires yet.
Yet. Okay. It's on the way.
It's coming. But yeah, I feel like building your confidence and building your style all starts within.
Okay.
And stop looking around. I mean, yeah, I'm on social media. Follow me on social media, but don't compare yourself to the people that you see.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because in today's
age of technology, it's hard.
Yeah.
Not even gonna
and I
lie,
think you
it's
can
hard.
you can appreciate what you do and like use the tips that you give, but then apply it to your body type and what you like. Like there are some people that I follow and I'm like, I am not wearing that. I'm not wearing that.
It's cute on you. It's beautiful on you, but I'm not doing that.
Or like I have some of the clothes because of my body type, like she said, and I am not the most stylish person. So follow her. Do not come here for relationship advice, not styling advice. But like I know enough to know like that doesn't work for me or I don't feel comfortable. Like that doesn't make me feel confident. And I think it's like okay to be different, like truly embrace who you are.
Yes.
And what you like.
And what you like. The minute I let go of like, oh, I should dress like this, or oh, I should look like this, or oh, I should do this, is the minute I just start having fun and I just really enjoyed what I had on. Yeah, so I just look at social media as like a Pinterest board, an inspiration. But it shouldn't be, you shouldn't take it truly at face value, because we all have different body types. We all have different styles. We all have different comfort levels. So like I'm not about to go out here and show everything to the world.
You ain't saying nothing no more. Okay, now back in the day, if you would have caught me in the line, at a club. You might have seen a
You
little.
might have seen a little chica too.
I'm saying. But baby, you're getting a sweater. Okay. All right. So tell the people. So we know what she does. Now tell the people how they can follow you and just, you already talked about what led you to this place.
Mhm.
Tell them how they can follow you so they can get the inspiration.
Follow me on all socials. So I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Tiajah Amari. So that's my first name, Tiajah, and my middle name, Amari, Amari.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming today, T. It was so nice to chat, and I'm glad I got to learn a little bit more about you and your journey.
Yes.
So, keyword here, your journey. God has blessed us with our own path. And I know society pushes this thing on you that you have to be like this person or you have to do things a certain way. But I promise, like she said, once you start to really get to know what you like, what you desire, even when it comes to the sweater on your back, the shoes on your feet, to your relationship, what do you want? What do you desire? Take it to God. Allow Him to lead and guide you so that you can live your best life in your own ghetto. Okay. What did you say? Joyous and ghetto?
Blissful, but ghetto.
Blissful, but ghetto. Right. And I think the best way to interpret that is it's not going to be easy.
No.
Right. But you can have joy in your own journey and just enjoy the life that God has blessed you with.
Mhm.
So, of course, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your girlfriends. We're all going through the things.
The struggle.
Look, our age difference, right? Like, but we still experience similarities because of relationships, marriage, desires, goals, like all these things, self-doubt, self-confidence, like all these things. But know that you are perfect just the way you are, right? Little therapy.
Yes.
She said, you got a good heart. Develop your heart, okay? Like, you may not be good at science or math, but girl, get your heart right, okay? Get your posture right, and I promise everything else will begin to flow. So share this with your friends if you know that they're struggling. We want to have these conversations because it helps to know that you're not alone, regardless of where you are in the journey, right? And knowing that God has a specific plan and purpose just for you and your husband, okay? Because he's coming.
He's on the way.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining again. It was an amazing conversation and another amazing episode of the Real Love Talk podcast. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi, ladies. Shenique Luke here, your love preparation coach. So you asked, and now I'm answering. The Love Prep Academy is opening its doors for enrollment for our signature program. Are you ready for your happily ever after? Are you ready to have the life that you've been praying for? Are you sick and tired of wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Well, this program is for you. I'm here to send a call of action to my ladies who are tired of doing it their way and are truly ready to give it to God. So I'm challenging 25 women to become a part of our founding members program. This program consists of weekly coaching from yours truly, a dating assessment, a private Facebook community, and weekly challenges and homework to help you shift how you see dating and marriage to finally get the results you want. Now, the best thing about being a founding member, not only do you get to be a part of a life-changing program, but you get all access to all things Love Prep Academy from now until forever. That's right, we're locked in for life. So click the link below to find out more. I will see you on the other side.